Well, good morning everyone. You find me again in locked up Melbourne on my morning exercise. I'm heading back into the woods and hopefully it's supposed to rain. So like in last week's video, I'm traveling very light. I've got a little tripod, my camera and the DJI Pocket. But given it's going to rain, I've got a tiny umbrella, which is obviously important. But more importantly for the camera, my number one tip would be is bring a shower cap. So if we do get some rain, I usually put the shower cap over the camera during any heavy falls. So one thing I've been waiting for during lockdown and over the last probably 8 weeks is to get an opportunity to find a location and also a composition that celebrates the Australian wattle, which is Australia's national flower, which you've probably seen different sporting events set around the world. And obviously we wear green and gold at the Olympics, etc. But haven't found anything, but just literally I have walked on this trail, I swear, hundreds of times in the last 2 years. And looking at a different perspective with my eyes wide open, I found a composition that celebrates that wattle. So let me show you now. Beautiful wattle coming in over the trail here, providing like a path, which again is obvious, but because of the heavy eucalyptus in the background there and quite congested through into the scene, not only does the trail provide I guess somewhere like a leading line, a heavy canopy of the eucalyptus at the back there is also framing out any sky. And on the right side here we've also got some lovely white native flowers, which I'll have to look up, I don't know what they are. But on the side here, which I think potentially if I come back in another month, the wattle will probably be gone, but there's banksia here as well, and some great textures. Again, those grasses we saw in last week's video, but also the textures of the different shrubs and small trees around the edge of the frames. So potentially, depending on whether I didn't actually check photo pills where the sun's going to rise. I know it rises behind me, but potentially I could have had that wattle probably with a bit of side light if I stick around. So we might stick around and see what happens over the next 20 minutes. F13, ISO 400 and 1/3 of a second. I've set the white balance slightly warmer because I wanted to offset the wattles themselves with a little bit, it's a deeper sort of warmer tones. Alright, so I moved a bit further down the trail, so I'm trying something completely new, which I'm experimenting with essentially. So I've got a scene behind me here where I've got a fallen, I think it's a native pine, and then I've got a young eucalypt in the foreground, which I'll show you. But I'm just looking at the textures of the bark, the leaves, and the native pine here also has a really fine, it's not even a Christmas tree little effect, but I'll show you what I've lined up on the camera now. But a beautiful morning here, absolutely stunning. So just walking into the scene, so I said before eucalyptus is actually a native pine here with a beautiful texture of the bark there and the leaves just coming through here. And this fallen eucalypt which is coming into the scene, sort of a little bit like a monster kind of thing was what I was seeing anyway. But over here we've also got the beautiful native bottle brush. And again we've got the textures of the grass down here as well, which is making for a beautiful scene. So I don't know if it's going to work, we'll have to look when we get back home, but something a little bit different, and yeah. So it's a very light rain starting to fall, so I'm going to hurry along the trail here because I've got a place I want to show you which looks like someone has set up for a wedding. The joys of landscape photography says so much for the rain, so I've got full sun on me and on the scene behind me, but I framed up a shot that I took on my iPhone last week, which I shared on Instagram, just here with these, what I think is called wedding bush. I'll check that when I get home, framing the edge of the trail here. So again, using the leading lines of the trail, nothing unique about that, but getting the composition and the separation of the trees correct has been a little bit more challenging. This is the third attempt I've had at this location, so I'll turn around and give you a look at it now. So as we walk into the scene here, so you see you've got the wedding bush here on each side of the trail and the trail leading around. We've got these trees here, these eucalypts, again, the stringy barks, leaning into the scene. And as we come back with this, the image is make sure that I've separated this paper bark from that stringy bark and providing a balance across the scene of both the wedding bush and trying to really celebrate those beautiful spring colours. So I've zoomed in to about 35mm, maybe a tad under, to really isolate the sky and just really make it all about the textures and the colours of spring here in the Australian bush, or woodlands, depending where you are in the world, or forest. One thing I've learned about landscape photography and woodland photography in Australia, especially in this part of Australia, is can't predict the weather. So I had 4 seasons in one day. But hopefully looking at the compositions here in the spring in Australia was useful for you. And if it was, feel free to hit that like button as well. And in saying all of that, the next video you're going to want to watch is a video that I did a few months back, in a cool temperate rainforest in Australia.